My character is Mal Masterson, aka Stardust. They are non-binary, use they them pronouns. They are Native American. They're specifically Cherokee. I'm playing the Transformed playbook, so the big thing about Stardust is that Stardust is a living star. They're 18 years old and this like glowing white inferno of a body. You actually can't look at them directly, though they've got a like saber suit that has been specially built for them, so you can at least like look at their body. The only thing that remains human on them is their eyes, which are like dark brown. They have inhuman might and transmuting flesh. The transmuting flesh is because they are plasma and star. They can like change shape pretty frequently and pretty easily. And their inhuman might is mostly through things like gravity and like heat blasting, but they're also just like generally pretty strong. They are untouchable, like you can't touch them because they are a literal star and it would burn you. Do we want to go into backstory or do you want to go into moves?
Let's go ahead and start with the moves you picked.
Cool. So, the three moves I picked were not human enough. So, when you directly engage a threat in a terrifying fashion, mark a condition to choose an additional option, even on a miss. Coming for you, when you mark a condition, take +1 forward against the person you most blame for causing it, and be the monster. When you frighten, intimidate, or cow others with your monster's form, roll +freak. On a hit, they are thrown off and make themselves vulnerable to you, or they flee. On a 10+, choose 1. On 7 or 9, choose 2. You frighten others you had not intended to scare. You hurt someone or break something you shouldn't have. You feel like more of a monster afterwards. Mark a condition, GM's choice. On a miss, they react with violence, hatred, and paranoia, and you suffer the brunt of it.
Excellent. Okay, so jumping into backstory questions. Who were you before?
I started changing when I was pretty young. I was like 8 or 9 when I started this change, so I was just a kid. My mom was a scientist who worked for Monarch Power back about 15 years ago when Monarch Power was trying to like do some like solar research. They said it was for like solar dynamic or like solar paneling and that kind of thing, like solar energy sources. But there's a lot of implication in the fact that it was shut down so rapidly that there was a ulterior motive for the operation, which was called Operation Swallowtail. In the aftermath of the operation being completely shut down, my mom, whose name was Sakari Nez, made this like vial of essentially solar particles into a nightlight for Mal, who used it every night. And it was radioactive, but we didn't know that at the time. And it gradually like corrupted my entire body until my body began to essentially just like burn itself alive. And until I was this like human, or not even human anymore, this living ball of stardust. And I think by the time we realized like, oh, that's what's causing it, it was too late. Because once my body started to burn, like it just essentially like burned itself and there was no reversing it. I think I joined with Saber kind of around the time I was like 13, 14, because I wanted to start looking for a cure myself. And that was when Saber started like funding for the moon base. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, if they have this plan to go to space, maybe I can find a cure up there.
And I think I'm
Yeah.
going to roll that into the question, who outside of the team is helping you understand your new body? Is that someone at Saber?
I think a lot of people at Saber are actually pretty cool with it and like helping me with that. I think the person I probably connected most with was, I think there are a couple people. One of the people I connected with was Glacier, because Glacier, when she got her powers, like her entire body went from this like, she was an Ethiopian woman, and then she became like ice white blue, or ice white and like ice blue eyes, because her powers like kind of corrupted her body. And so I think she understands what I'm going through. I think my mom is also pretty influential in like, because she is a solar scientist, she understands a lot of what is going on with my body. And she's like, okay, so here's what you need to avoid. Here are the things that like you should be careful of. And I think she like helped me by like helping with the research side of things.
Cool, I love that. And then why don't you just try to hide yourself away?
I want to find a cure. I think it is very much, I am planning on making, I'm planning on fixing myself.
All right, cool. Is there anything else you want to say, or does anyone else have any questions?
I think from a distance, like distance being like hundreds of miles because I am a star, I'm literally visible from hundreds of miles away. Have fun if we're trying to sneak into somewhere, y'all. I think I'm like kind of radiantly beautiful. Like, I think that is the issue, is that I am stunning to look at because I'm a star, but I'm also a star. I like the idea of like a transformed who's not ugly, who's actually like radiant, but that beauty is unknowable.
Is there any eye protection that can help, like sunglasses or welder masks?
I think Saber has given me like a morph suit, and I have a helmet that goes with it. So like I have a white and blue bodysuit with matching helmet where I can like go into that to be looked at. But I do think that like you all probably want to have eyewear with you at all times.
Sweet. So y'all get to wear like some 6 shades. Amazing.
Yeah.
We'll all look great.
I think the Saber sponsored like uniforms that they gave us for this like mission, I think they come with like a helmet that is shaded.
I'm going to vote that you need like some sort of catchphrase like "flame on" to warn us that you're gonna go nowhere.
I think I might just be like eyes and just like yell and be like, "All right, everyone, avert your eyes."
I'm about to leave a sunspot.
Sunspot
Any
was
other-
I picked, but Sunspot is another hero.
Moon Harbor Extended is part of the Icy New Year Presents network and is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth. Anthony can be found on Twitter at Icy New Year or at icynewyear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter or TPHuth94 on Instagram. This issue was GM'd by me, Anthony Sheets. Jet is played by EXPHP. You probably won't find him at It's EXPHP on Twitter, but it's worth a try. Mason is played by Simon Meskins. You can find him on Twitter as @Gilberecki. Portali is played by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yellen on Twitter. Stardust is played by T. Huth. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music for this issue was Work by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his license and site will be found in the episode notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out on patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus episodes each month. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.